And welcome to our annual Greater New Orleans Quarterback Club Awards Luncheon. It is great to have each and every one of you with us. I'm Ken Trahan of SportsNola.com, WGSO Radio, and SportsNola TV. It is great to have you with us. Merry Christmas to you, one and all. We trust you're having a great holiday season with family, and we've got a lot of family here today. The Greater New Orleans Quarterback Club has been in existence since 1934, and it honors all of those in amateur athletics, as we've done for many, many years, by selecting players of the week as well as the player of the year, and honoring the young men that go on to be productive members of our society, many of whom are here today. In addition to that, we cater to our colleges, in particular Tulane and LSU, that people support here, and they have been a large part of the New Orleans Quarterback Club since its inception, and to the New Orleans Saints on a weekly basis as well. We meet each and every Monday during the football season here at the Embassy Suites Hotel. First order of business is to thank our good and great friends here at the Embassy Suites, the General Manager Craig Mooney, Mike Marquis, his trusted #1 man, for their kind assistance all year long and for the great job that they do. This is just a sampling of what they've provided all season long, so I'll give them a little round of applause for what they do for us. And of course, the purpose of being here today is to honor those who have achieved much on the gridiron. It's much more important that they achieve a lot in life, but I suspect they're well on their way based upon the disciplines that they've learned through being student athletes at the outstanding schools that they represent. Of course, the Greater New Orleans Quarterback Club would like to thank its sponsors, including SportsNola.com and the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl, which sponsors all of our Prep Players of the Week and our Prep Player of the Year. And our presenting sponsor is Compliance Technology, nearly a decade running. And here to share a few words from our presenting sponsor is the gentleman who owns Compliance Technology. He's also the president of Wrestling USA. Please give a warm welcome to Mr. Jim Ravenel. Jim?
Thank you, Kenny. Well, certainly it's an honor for Compliance Technology. This is our 10th year sponsoring the Greater New Orleans Quarterback Club, but certainly honoring these exceptional high school athletes, and that's what we're about. Compliance Technology has been working to stay within the city, and we're here to support the city and these student athletes, and just want to let them know how important it is to keep moving on. I walked in the building earlier, I saw one of my high school coaches, and I want to acknowledge him, Jimmy Keitel with East Jefferson back there. Jimmy, nice to meet you. He was one of my wrestling coaches early on. Thank you, Jimmy. But for no further ado, Kenny, Compliance Technology is honored just to be here and represent the city. So, other than that, thank y'all.
Thanks, Jim, and thanks once again to Compliance Technology for their generous support of the Greater New Orleans Quarterback Club. Our next speaker has been with the New Orleans Hornets since 2005 and was promoted to team president in 2007. And of course, he recently spearheaded the I'm In campaign, which resulted in the Hornets reaching the coveted 10,000 season ticket plateau, which they've now exceeded, heading into the 2011-2012 season. The Hornets open their regular season coming up on December the 26th at Phoenix. First home game follows shortly thereafter. Are you in? He's here today. He's in the house. Please give a warm welcome to Hugh Weber, president of your New Orleans Hornets.
Well, you may ask yourself, what is a basketball guy doing at the quarterback club? Well, like you, we are here to support these young men who have done outstanding things and represented our community well, and there's nothing more than being in is about than our region's future. So we are proud to be here today. Wanted to just take a moment and share a little bit about where the team is. You may have heard we did a small trade last week that landed us in the middle of the ESPN universe for about 20 minutes every hour. But I think that the bottom line is that this is a team on the rise. And the conflict and the challenges we went through in the last few weeks could not have happened if a year ago we hadn't made substantial changes in bringing in Dell Debs and Monty Williams as our leadership. And what that has brought us to a point now is where people confidently come up to me in this room and other places and say, listen, we're in for the Hornets, right? This isn't about a person or a face, this is about a team. And again, I think that the diligence that's happened behind the scenes is going to pay fruits for many, many years to come. Our number one objective is to make you proud. To make you proud to be a fan of this team, to make you proud to be from New Orleans. And we're going to work very hard to make sure that this is a team that captures your imagination every single night in the arena. And the good news is, with 10,000 season tickets, as Ken talked about, we're going to have a packed hive every night. We'd love to see it come out, starting on the 28th with our home opener against the Celtics. Last year we had about 20% of the crowd that was wearing green. We'd like to stop them at the door if we could. So if you want to make sure that happens, just make sure you come to the game. And again, we look forward to seeing you this season. And have a very Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Thank you, Hugh. Again, the Hornets opening on the 26th at Phoenix, home opener with the Celtics on December the 28th. Best of luck to your New Orleans Hornets for this upcoming season. Our next speaker is a native of the New Orleans area, a graduate of St. Charles High School. He was recently named, as I'm quite sure you took note of, head football coach at Tulane University. And he comes to Tulane from the New Orleans Saints, where he hasn't quite left yet. He spent a little time in Minneapolis yesterday with some other team doing okay, we think, because receivers caught like 32 balls yesterday. And he'll probably tell you they should have caught 8 more, but that's the way he is. That's why he's successful. A very driven man. He served previously, of course, at many other universities, San Diego State, SMU, California, Miami, and you name the players that he's been part of recruiting, including Marshall Falk from Carver High School, of course, Ed Reed from Destrehan, Reggie Wayne from John Ehret. And with the Saints, of course, he's tutored some terrific receivers, many of whom you saw succeed on the playing field in Minneapolis yesterday. Won a Super Bowl with the Saints in 2009, and there's no question that he brings brighter days ahead to Tulane University. Please give a warm welcome to Tulane head football coach and Saints wide receivers coach, for now, Curtis Johnson. Curtis?
You know what? Thank you guys for coming out. I mean, this is awesome. You know, I just remember, you know, I see all these coaches in here, and I remember JT. JT was one of the guys great guy, who helped me get to the University of Idaho. Now I went to St. Charles. We didn't have film back then. JT was ahead of his time. He had film, and he gave me the film, which I never brought back. I still have that film. I give it back to him. And I sent the film up to Idaho. I sent it up to Idaho, and they ended up giving me a scholarship. And the reason why I brought that up is because these coaches here, I see one of my cousins, Jalou, David, Coach Kaiser, Coach Ross, Coach Monica. They are amazing, the amount of time and preparation that they put into what they do. And I would say this too, I've recruited across the country, all over. I've recruited from the state of Washington to Florida, from New York to Texas, all the way to New Mexico. And I would say the best football, coach football. Now Florida has some athletes, but the best coach football is right here in New Orleans, Louisiana. Put your hands together. I would say this to these parents in here, these gentlemen that sitting here, and I see a lot of other guys here. You guys have a lot of support. Your parents are backing you. Sometimes it doesn't seem like it's the right thing, that the parents that you think you know more than your parents. Well, I still don't know more than my mama. She know more football than I do. She can coach the receivers, and she do. Every time before the game and every time after the game, I gotta hear it. So I'm just saying this, listen to your parents, listen to the coaches, listen. And I guarantee you, if you listen, you'll be great. Here's what God did for all of us. He gave us 2 eyes, 2 ears, and 1 mouth. Let's do more listening, more seeing, and less talking. And I guarantee you guys will make it and you'll be fine. Okay? That's my only words of wisdom to you. I'm short. I'm long-winded, but I don't have very much time. The next thing I want to thank the Greater New Orleans Quarterback Club. Here's a group of gentlemen have no vested interest whatsoever, nothing, but to show you guys off to the world, to the nation, to get you guys free food, free whatever. And they got cars for you guys outside too. So trust me, you get your car now. This guy right here, he has the television right here for you guys. No, just joking. But here it is though. They decided to put this thing on for you every year. And when I was coming up, we didn't have anything like that. We got tasty donuts. That was it. Get a donut. That was it. A little bit about Tulane football. Now I'm kind of still torn. Last night was a good victory. We tried to get this thing away early on. I know guys have been hitting me up about, man, what were you guys doing early in the game? Well, here's the thing about the NFL. You can lose any day, any given Sunday. Everybody in the NFL is getting paid a lot of money. So don't think that it's going to be a cakewalk. Well, Jimmy Graham had his little diva suit on yesterday. He wanted to fumble. Sproles couldn't catch early. Lance Moore dropped the ball. So we try to help them out, to help them stay close to us. But we got this guy, number 9, named Drew Brees. They couldn't stay close to Drew. So Drew did a great job yesterday, and coaches appreciate that. He threw for 412 yards and threw. He had, on third down, he was 76% on third down. That's unheard of. Any team, you can't do that in pass scale or against the air. But that's why I'm kind of still torn, because I still got the game on my mind also. But here's the thing about Tulane. I think this is the one thing I do think. I think it's at a great location. I think it's a great city. It's a small private school, and one of the reasons why I equate Tulane similar to what Frank Monica did at St. Charles. He built this program up at St. Charles, because when we were there, I had 4 different coaches in 4 different years. Frank has built this program up. Coach Monica, I should have called him Frank, and he has a bunch of great young men. Great young men. The best thing he did was he got out of AA. Because he couldn't beat JT, and we couldn't either. But he got into AAA, and golly, he won a state championship. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get this thing going, where we can have something. That on our roster, there's a lot of guys that's from out of state. Nothing against out of state players, but we want Tulane to be a viable option for everybody in New Orleans to come in and have a place where you can watch your sons play, and if you got daughters, if they can do something for us, they can kick the ball, whatever. Hey, we'll take them too. We just need players. We need speed. And one other attractive thing about Tulane University is that they are building a new on-campus 32,000 seat stadium. It's going to cost $60 million to do it, but hey, I know they got some guys around here with a lot of money and a lot of stuff that can help us out in the stadium. But what we're doing is we want a place that'll feel at home for everybody to come in. Coach is going to be able to use it. You can have your high school games over there. I'm saying that already. You can have it over there for a small fee. You got to pay for the stadium. You got to understand that. But that's one of the things that we want to do. We want to put a product in New Orleans, and I know I love LSU too. I got a lot of my friends work at LSU. I love them. I love what they're doing. They're a great program. I see Louisiana Lafayette just won a game yesterday. But we need to do the same thing to get our kids and keep them home, where you can go to a place where you can be proud of your kids. Any questions on anything? I was told that I had to answer a couple questions, and I hope you don't ask me hard questions. Don't ask me if you're going to beat up Atlanta. Please don't ask me that, but we will. Anything else? Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Curtis. Busiest man in America, or at least in New Orleans. And it's great to have him as part of both institutions, with your New Orleans Saints, and of course, now at Tulane University. Our next speaker was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2010. He played 15 years in the NFL, including his first 13 with your New Orleans Saints. He has the most sacks in New Orleans Saints history, the most fumble recoveries. He's tied for the most seasons played in the black and gold with 13, ranked second all-time in games played with 195. He was a 6-time Pro Bowl player, 4-time first-team All-Pro selection with New Orleans. His number 57 hangs in the rafters of the Superdome. And of course, he was inducted into the Saints Hall of Fame in 1997, and for good measure, he's a member of the Greater New Orleans Sports Hall of Fame and the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. He went on to play for that team in San Francisco for 2 years and somehow managed to win a Super Bowl trophy there while he was at it, for good measure. Please give a warm welcome to our good friend, number 57, Ricky Jackson.
First of all, good afternoon. I give honor to the Spirit of Christ who is the head of my life. It's always good to come, see a new breed, a lot of, young men who I know that their goal is to try to make sure that they get in the NFL. But I tell you what, man, I had that same journey, but I had the same goal. I always thought I would play in the National Football League since I was like 10 years old. Football was my goal, to play in the NFL. So you can set your goals young, and you can reach it, because I stopped mine and I accomplished what I sought out to do. And one thing about God, I asked him for 15 years in the NFL. And man, he gave me 15, and that's why I was so proud, and that's what made me quit after 15. I thought about going back a year. You know, when I came, I looked at the team, and I know that I was better than a couple of guys out there. So, you know, I said that after a year of laying out, I might go back. But I changed my mind after about two or three days. I really didn't want to play. All the guys were so much younger, so it kind of made me, you know, go back into retirement. But when I was the same age as these guys up here, I tell you one thing, man. It's like Coach was saying earlier about obeying your parents. I had my mother raised 5 kids by herself, and I tell you what, man, I was the youngest out of 5. So you know, a lot of time I came home food one there, and so I had a lot of grandmothers I had to go to. But I know guys don't have that problem these days. But I mean, my thing was, I was always ready to play football. And that's what I knew that kept me going and made sure that I got to the point where I'm at today. Because I would always know that football was going to be what I wanted to do. And a lot of y'all know that you don't want to play football. But one thing, before you can play football, you got to get your grades. And I know that was one thing I had to do. And I know all of y'all up here making sure that y'all get your grades because y'all want to play college football. And pro, everybody ain't going to make pro. But if you get your education, you can do the same thing a lot of the pro guys doing. And that's what I always try to tell young men. You know what I mean? You're going to try for pro. A lot of guys will get hurt. A lot of guys will have injury. You can't fall back on football. You can fall back on your education. So each one of y'all, that's what I want to leave with you. Make sure that when you go to college, get your education. Because that's going to take you far than anything can take you. I mean, everybody want to play football, but you can count the guys. The Hall of Fame got 260 guys, and 100, I think like 100 guys that passed away. They only got like 160 guys in the whole world that's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame now, because 100 of them passed away. So football is good, and it can take you a long way, but my thing is make sure you get your education. I think Tulane too, man, for having Coach CJ, you know, as the head coach, and he's gonna take him to make sure that he stay in touch with all the people in this room, because there's a lot of recruits out there that, you know, they're gonna take people like us to go talk to and try to get them for Tulane. I mean, you know, a lot of times guys looking at LSU, but LSU, everybody can't play for LSU. So Tulane is a great school, and my thing was, I went to the University of Pittsburgh. They was 12-0. They won national championship, Tony Dawson and all of them. You know, they never did lose. And I just feel like, you know, coming from a small town in Florida, that I was going to get there and be one of the best. So anywhere you go, you can be one of the best. And I think that, you know, sooner or later, the coach is going to turn this program around. So I really would recommend anybody, you know, who's playing football to get with it. But, you know, that's going to be your decision. But I thank Ken for always inviting me. I see Tyrone that came in the house. You know, he's an ex-Saint player. One of the guys played with me. And, you know, I've been looking at, I look at your commercial, Coach. And, you know, I see those 3 blocks you hit. I tell you what, those first 2 blocks were real solid. And that 3rd block go down pretty easy. So I've been checking Coach out. But I appreciate y'all having me here, man. Thank you. Anytime you need me, you can call Ken. I'll be around.
Thank you, Ricky. Ricky always answers the bell, I can assure you. He has it in his heart that young people succeed. He cares very much and speaks all over the community, in particular in schools whenever called upon. And our next speaker serves as sports director at WGNO Television, ABC 26. He's been doing that since 1992. He's won many awards, including Louisiana Broadcaster of the Year. Was recently honored for his outstanding prep coverage by the Louisiana High School Athletic Association. Of course, he hosts the very popular Friday Night Football show on ABC 26, which recently completed its 20th year. That in itself deserves applause for what they've done for high school students. He also writes a column for the Clarion Herald, writes a weekly column for SportsNola.com, and serves as co-host of the 3 Tailgaters show on WGSO, 990 AM. Please give a warm welcome to Ed Daniels. Ed?
My pleasure to be here. A quick note about my perspective on everyone at this table. one of the great things about high school football is the sponsors who support our program. And one of the best is Jerry Moisan, Best Chevrolet General Manager, our Best Player of the Week, and a little bit later we're going to give out our Best Player of the Year award. Without people like Jerry, we do not have a television program, and we appreciate his support every year. Nobody does a better job on Friday night than Kenny Trahan and his crew. I know on my football show, people kind of give me a hard time about promoting Ken's show as the best radio show in the nation, but it is. And if you listen to it on Friday night, their reports, not only from the metro area, but from the entire state of Louisiana, are outstanding. So WGSO on Friday night, if you're a prep football fan, if you're at the game, bring your radio and listen, because you're up on everything throughout the state for the entire night, and their scoreboard on sportsnola.com is phenomenal. Everyone in the state clicks to it for scores because it's accurate and it's constantly updated. Jim Ravanack does an unbelievable job supporting young people, not only many different venues, but with wrestling. He's been an incredible advocate for high school sports in our area, and we certainly appreciate Jim. Ricky Jackson, of course, I've had the honor and pleasure of interviewing Ricky and knowing him since he came into the NFL in 1981. In just about every interview we did, he always told me he was underpaid. So, and you know what? At some points, I agreed with him. But Ricky Jackson is a great advocate of young people, and not only that, Ricky Jackson speaks the truth. He's always been a straight shooter and the greatest player in Saints history, and it was an honor and a pleasure for me to be in Canton when he was inducted. It was truly a great evening, and Canton is a phenomenal place. If you've never been, I would highly recommend it, and when you go there, you get to see stuff about Ricky's great career, and it's a wonderful place to be. Quick note about... He wouldn't talk to me after the ceremony. He's like, I don't have time for you. Appreciate that, Rick. And let me tell you real quickly about the new football coach at Tulane University. I watch this guy all the time, especially in training camp when we're allowed in to watch the entire practice. I watch him coach his group of wide receivers, and he's really tough on those guys. Really tough. He's demanding. He expects excellence from those guys on every rep and every play. And he can be difficult with those guys. But let me tell you one thing that I learned from watching Coach Johnson. When he got the job at Tulane, all of his receivers were there for him. So the bond between player and coach, when you deal with Coach Johnson, is outstanding. And I know one thing, he'll always be 1,000% honest with you. He's a straight shooter and a great guy. We certainly wish him well at Tulane University. Now, one of the things that I'd like to say is it's great to be here with all the coaches today. I talked to them in June and July, and they have no idea how they're even going to win a game. And I see that some of them have actually won some games this year. So, high school coaches in New Orleans are some of the biggest sandbaggers in America. You talk to them and they're all going to be terrible and they all got bad teams, and I don't frankly know how they field a team. But they're out there on Friday night and some on Saturday and Thursday, and it's an honor and a pleasure to cover high school football in this area. With my friend Mr. Curtis on Friday night, our show is 20 years, and we hope to continue it for a long, long time. And really, during the fall, I'm glad my wife is not here because she can't hear me say this, but there's no place that I would rather be at 7 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. Can't text her. No place I'd rather be on Friday night than at a high school football game at 7 o'clock when the game is getting ready to kick off, especially a real good one. It's a real honor and privilege to do this, and I hope to be doing it for a long, long time. And thanks to the Quarterback Club and Kenny and everyone here for putting on such a great program every year. It's hard to believe that a year has gone by, and we look forward to next year very, very much. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ed. Always great to have Ed Daniels as part of anything that we do, and he's been a big supporter of the Greater New Orleans Quarterback Club for many, many years. Time now to get on with the business of presenting our awards. So, Stan, we'll get you over to the corner over here, and we'll start with, of course, the chronological order with Week 1 proceeding through Week 15. before we get to our Player of the Year honor as well. Our Week 1 Greater New Orleans Quarterback Club Prep Player of the Week, sponsored by Rudy Odom of Compliance Technology Group, was defensive back Jay Washington of St. Paul's High School. Washington had an interception, a fumble recovery, 6 solo tackles, 2 assists, 3 passes defense. His 9th-ranked St. Paul's whipped top-ranked Car out of 4A, 38-7 over in Covington. Jay is a junior, 6'2", 190. He's coached by Coach Kenny Sears, who's here today. Kenny, would you please take a bow if you're here? There he is. And if Jay has any parental representation, please take a bow as well. And if not, if anyone else from St. Paul's is here, please take a bow at this time. With that, we'll call on our Prep Player of the Week for week number 1 to come forward and accept the award and say a word or two. Jay Washington of St. Paul's High School. Jay.
First off, I would like to thank God and my coach for getting me here. It's a great honor to be here, and I would like to thank the quarterback club for giving me this award. Thank you.
Just a junior, highly recruited. Our Greater New Orleans Quarterback Club Prep Player of the Week for week number 2, sponsored by Dan Hart, been a great friend, marketing executive for WWL TV Channel 4, and a longtime member of the Quarterback Club, is kicker and punter Michael McCarthy of Brother Martin High School. McCarthy set a Brother Martin school record with 5 field goals, going 5 for 5, kicking field goals of 36, 40, 28, 28, and 35 yards. He made all 3 extra points, scored 18 points overall. He punted once for 38 yards. His Brother Martin down St. Augustine 36-22. And we do want to recognize that this is the first time we've ever picked a kicker in the history of the New Orleans Quarterback Club. So Mike should feel very privileged. He deserves it. Mike is coached by Mark Bonice. Mark, if you're here, take a bow. That was a quick bow. Stand up, Mark. There you go. We'd also like to recognize Mike's parents. If you're here, please take a bow as well at this time. Over here this morning. And any other administrators from Brother Martin High School, please take a bow at this time. With that, we give you our Prep Player of the Week for week number 2, Michael McCarthy of Brother Martin High School. Mike?
How y'all doing? First, I would like to thank my family, my parents, and my grandparents. And I just would like to say that my grandfather has been one of my biggest mentors through me throughout this year. My year last year as a junior was kind of a rough one, and he held me through it and helped me continue to work. I just don't want to mention me. I know I had 5 field goals that game, and I know a lot of people look at me as an individual. But I think what people who should get the most credit is my holder, my snapper, and my PAT line. My holder, Nick Bodie, and my snapper, Ryan Romney, have done a great job all year. Coach Bonice, I'd like to thank him as well as also my special teams coordinator, Coach Cordova. They emphasize the importance of getting extra points, and because that can affect the football game at any time. And those guys worked all year round, helping me do better and getting it right so we can get those points and eventually win the game. I also like to thank my God for getting me through this year. I pray to him before every kick, whether good or bad, because I'm just thankful to be on that field wearing my crimson, and I'm also thankful to be playing against such great teams as Jesuit and St. Aug and everybody. I'm thankful for everybody for making this such a wonderful high school experience, and I'm also thankful to the Sports NOLA Quarterback Club for honoring me. It's such a great award, and I thank everybody. It's an unbelievable experience. Thank you.
He didn't miss anyone. Michael McCarthy, way to go, Mike. Great job. Kickers, I mean, we got to give kickers their time, right? They deserve it. Great job, Mike. Our Prep Player of the Week for week number 3 from the Greater New Orleans Quarterback Club, and sponsored by the Greater New Orleans Football Officials Association. Wow, they might have these guys on their side. Wade's smiling over there. That's a good thing. It's Paul Stanton, senior running back from Jesuit High School. 5'10", 175-pound senior. Stanton rushed 14 times for 91 yards and a score. He caught 6 passes for 115 yards and a touchdown. Jesuit whipped Shaw 34-17 to improve to 3-0 on the season, on the way to 12 straight wins, by the way. Stanton is coached by Wade Kaiser. Wade, take a bow if you will. Also like to recognize Paul's parents. Please take a bow if you will. And other Jesuit administrators, including Mike Jambaluka, who's here, please take a bow as well. Once again, our quarterback club prep player of the week for week number 3, Paul Stanton of Jesuit High School. Paul?
I want to thank my coach for this award, for my parents for coming out every week, for my teammates, and I would like to thank the New Orleans Sports Quarterbacks Club for giving me this award and recognizing my play. Thank you.
Congratulations, Paul. Great job. Our prep player of the week for week number 4 from the Greater New Orleans Quarterback Club, sponsored by Paul Velto, chairman of the Hardell Carriers New Orleans Bowl, and a proud graduate of this school, is running back Leonard Fournette of the St. Augustine Purple Knights. The sophomore sensation carried 22 times for 208 yards and 3 touchdowns, and he caught a 27-yard touchdown pass as well. St. Augustine rallied past Honville 40-21 at Boutique. Leonard is coached by David Johnson. David, please take a bow. And also would like to recognize members of Leonard's family. If parents are here, please take a bow at this time. And other administrators from St. Augustine High School, if you're here, please take a bow as well. Once again, our prep player of the week for week number 4, Leonard Fournette of St. Augustine High School. Leonard?
I'd like to say I want to thank God first, and all you players who won the award. Congratulations. It's showing y'all hard work. And my parents, Laura and Leonard Fournette, my younger brother Leonard, and my coach. I want to thank y'all too, because they keep me on the right path. Because a person my age, so young, it's hard. You know, you can easily mess up, but they keep me on the right track, and I thank y'all.
It's a shame Leonard's getting no attention around the country right now. Congratulations, Leonard. Our prep player of the week from the New Orleans Quarterback Club for week number 5, sponsored by City Wholesale, is quarterback Aston Gaines of Belle Chase High School. Gaines completed 13 of 21 passes for 254 yards and 2 touchdowns. He ran 22 times for 131 yards and 3 more touchdowns, as Belle Chase ran faced Vanderbilt Catholic 53-24 to improve to 5-0 on the season. Aston is coached by Bob Becknell. Bob, take a bow. I'd like to recognize Aspen's parents. If they're here, please take a bow as well. And any other representation from Belle Chase High School, if you will, be acknowledged at this point. With that, we give you our prep player of the week for week number 5 from the New Orleans Quarterback Club, quarterback Aspen Gaines at Belle Chase High School. Aspen?
Well, first I would like to thank God for giving me the ability to play the sport that I love. I'd like to thank my mom, my dad, rest in peace, and my coaches, and the quarterback club for honoring me with this. Thank you.
Congratulations, Aspen. Great job with the Cardinals this year. Our prep player of the week for week number 6, sponsored by Legacy Consultants. Thanks to their support. If he plays quarterback at Endicott, he's got to have a nickname. It's Devontae Knoll, but you can call him Speedy if you like. Devontae completed 15 of 26 passes for 339 yards and 6 touchdowns, and he rushed 9 times for 118 yards and a 7th touchdown to pace Endicott to a 48-18 victory over Helen Cox in the 9-4A district opener for both teams. Devontae is coached by Jabbar Jalouk. Jabbar, take a bow. And we'd like to acknowledge Speedy's parents. If you're here, please take a bow as well. And any other representation from Endicott High School. Do it again. Again, our quarterback club prep player of the week for week number 6, Devontae Knoll of Endicott High School.
First off, I'd like to thank God for making me to do the love the sport I love. I'd like to thank my coaches, my team, the players that helped me with this award. And I'd like to thank the New Orleans Quarterback Club. Thank you.
Nickname like Speedy, he can run a little bit. Did a great job of helping his team get to the 4A state championship game this year. Our prep player of the week for week number 7, sponsored by Frischards, Pulleyard, Frischards, and Epistato Law Firm, is quarterback Damian Williams, junior from Archbishop Rummel. Williams carried 24 times for 176 yards and a touchdown, and he completed 6 of 8 passes for 152 yards and 3 touchdowns, as 9th-ranked Rummel remained unbeaten at the time at 6-0 with a 42-34 district win over 10th-ranked West Jefferson. Williams is coached by Jay Roth. Jay, take a bow. I'd also like to recognize Damien's parents. If you're here, please take a bow. Be recognized. Any other representation from Archbishop Rummel? If you're here, please take a bow as well. With that, we give you our prep player of the week for week number 7, quarterback Damian Williams of Rummel High School.
I'd like to thank Coach Roth for pushing me as hard as he did. I'd like to thank my mom for supporting me every week. Greater proud.
Congratulations, Damien. All right, New Orleans Quarterback Club Prep Player of the Week for week number 8, sponsored by the De La Salle Cavalier Athletic Club and Kevin Cottle, attorney at law, as well as Harold Shelley is running back Anthony Thomas of De La Salle High School. Thomas carried 17 times for 195 yards and 3 touchdowns. He added a pair of 2-point conversions on offense, but he decided to play defense as well. He was in on 8 tackles, had a pair of interceptions, including a 40-yard return for a touchdown. And, he figured he'd participate on special teams as well, where he returned punts and kicks for 59 yards as the Cavaliers defeated Lusher 43-22 at Breeze Family Field. Thomas is coached by Corey Bordelon. Corey, take a bow. We'd also like to recognize Anthony's parents. If you're here, please be acknowledged as well. Take a bow. And any other representation from De La Salle High School, if you will, please be recognized. New Orleans Quarterback Club Prep Player of the Week for week number 8, Anthony Thomas of De La Salle High School.
First off, I'd like to thank God. I'd like to thank Coach Willon, our offensive line, Coach Williams, who is not here, coach me on defense, and the rest of my team. I would like to thank my school.
Congratulations, Anthony. Our Greater New Orleans Quarterback Club Prep Player of the Week for week number 9, sponsored by WSLA 1560 AM, ESPN 1560, is quarterback Ryan Noonan of Pope John Paul II. Noonan had a monstrous effort as the Jaguars defeated St. Thomas Aquinas 44-26. Noonan was 9 of 11 for 234 yards and 4 touchdowns. He carried 11 times for 96 yards and 2 more touchdowns for the Jags, who improved to 7-2 overall, 4-0 in District A2A, with a big win over St. Thomas Aquinas. Noonan is coached by Mark Jean-Marc. Mark, if you will, take a bow. And his parents as well, Ryan's parents, if you will, be recognized. Any other representation from Pope John Paul II? If you're here, please be recognized as well. With that, our Prep Player of the Week for week number 9 from Pope John Paul II, quarterback Ryan Noonan. Ryan?
First off, I'd like to thank God for giving me the opportunity to play the sport that I love. I'd like to thank my family, my teammates, and my coach. Without them, I wouldn't be here today. And I'd like to thank the New Orleans Quarterback Club for honoring me. Thank you.
Congratulations, Ryan. Our Prep Player of the Week for week number 10, sponsored by the River Parishes Football Officials Association, is quarterback Eugene Wells from East Jefferson High School. The young signal caller came up big as the Warriors beat Holy Cross 31-13 to clinch a home playoff game in the 4A state playoffs. Wells rushed 22 times for 149 yards and 2 touchdowns, and was a perfect 404 for 111 yards and a pair of touchdowns passing. Wells is coached by a lifelong friend, Nick Saltramaggio. Nick, take a bow. I'd also like to recognize Eugene's parents. If you're here, please take a bow as well. And I know Mr. Kindle's been recognized, but anyone from East Jefferson High School, please take a bow as well. And our Prep Player of the Week for week number 10 from East Jefferson High School, Eugene Wells.
supporter, my head coach, principal, my counselor, and New Orleans Quarterback Club. Thank you.
Thanks, Eugene. For week number 11, our player of the week, sponsored by Delacroix Corporation, is J.J. Brown, running back of Archbishop Hummel. Brown carried 33 times for 317 yards and a pair of touchdowns as Rummel defeated Higgins 31-28 in the opening round of the 5A playoffs. It's part of a special season for him. Brown is coached by Jay Roth, who's been acknowledged previously. Jay, take a bow again, if you will. And JJ's parents would also recognize you at this time. Please take a bow. With that, our club player of the week for week number 11 from Rummel High School is J.J. Brown. J.J.?
Thank my mom, my grandma, my grandpa, Coach Roth for believing in me, God for waking me up each day, getting through, and the quarterback club for honoring me. Thank you.
Thanks, JJ. Our prep player of the week for week number 12, sponsored by Harry Henderson, attorney at law and a great member of the Greater New Orleans Quarterback Club, is running back Joshua Rounds of McMain High School. The prolific running back came up big as the Mustangs beat Livonia 57-50 to advance in the 3A playoffs, and McMain winning playoff games for the first time in their school's history. He, in this game, Rounds carried 35 times for 240 yards and 2 touchdowns. He did that kind of on a regular basis throughout the course of the year. Prep player of the week, recognized for his outstanding achievement for week number 12, is running back Joshua Rounds of McMain High School.
Good evening. First, I would like to thank the Quarterbacks Club for honoring me and the sponsors that did all this for us. I would like to thank my mom and my sister for always supporting me through every game, Coach Roussel, and I just want to thank everyone for supporting McMain. I know it's a small school, but this year it was a great year, and it's a great way to end my senior year. Thank you.
Congratulations to Joshua Rounds of the McMain Mustangs. We'd like to recognize Coach Kevin Roussel at this point. Kevin, if you will, take a bow. Josh's parents, if you're here, please be noted as well. Take a bow. Any other representation from McMain High School? Please stand at this time. Our prep player of the week for week number 13, presented by Linda L. Slayton, sponsoring this, Dockside Lineman Incorporated, is quarterback Matt Bergeron, a senior from Mandeville High School. Bergeron completed 10 of 18 passes for 215 yards and 4 touchdowns as Mandeville advanced to the 5A semifinals for the first time in school history, shutting out Ruston 26-0. Bergeron is coached by Guy LeCompte. Guy, take a bow. I'd like to recognize Matt's parents as well. If you will, please be noted. And any other representation from the Mandeville Skippers, Mandeville High School, if you will, take a bow. With that, our prep player of the week for week number 13 from Mandeville High School is Matt Bergeron. Matt?
I'd like to thank God for blessing me with the ability to play football. Thank Coach LeCompte, my parents, my offensive line, so I'd be nothing without them, and everybody at Mandeville High School for a great senior year. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations, Matt. Our prep player of the week for week number 14, sponsored by Stan Cotterman Jr., attorney at law of the New Orleans Quarterback Club, is linebacker Eric Thomas of John Curtis Christian High School. A junior, Thomas was the dominant player on the field with 12 tackles, including 2 for loss, 4 sacks, and blocked a kick, field goal for good measure, as Curtis defeated Evangel 38-6 in the Class 2A state semifinals. Curtis advanced to the championship game with that victory, which they ultimately won, as we all know. And of course, Eric is coached by JT Curtis. JT, take a bow. I'd like to recognize Eric's parents as well, if you will, please be noted. And I know those administrators, same guy, a football guy. You can stand up as well again if you like, from John Curtis High School, JT Curtis. Once again, our prep player of the week for week number 14 from John Curtis Christian is linebacker Eric Thomas. Eric?
I'd like to thank God, my family, my coaches, and my defensive line.
Defensive line, we kept him clean, you know what I mean? Let him have that free patch of the ball carrier. He was all over the field that night. We had a good fortune of broadcasting that game. And our final prep player of the week for week number 15, which of course is a result of the state championship games in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, sponsored by Jim Ravanack of Compliance Technology Group and the River Parishes Football Officials Association, is running back, kick returner, do-it-all Marcus Hall from St. Charles Catholic High School. The senior running back was voted as the most outstanding player in the 3A state championship game, rushing 17 times for 82 yards, caught a couple of passes for 7 yards, returned a couple of punts for 14 yards, a kickoff for 19 yards, and accounted for 112 total yards as the Comets won their first ever state championship, edging a meet by the score of 9-8. Hall is coached by Frank Monica. Frank, if you will, take a bow. I'd like to acknowledge Marcus's parents as well. Please take a bow. And administrators from St. Charles Catholic High School, including Principal Andrew Cupid, if you will, take a bow. Once again, our prep player of the week for week number 15 from St. Charles Catholic High School is Marcus Hall. Marcus?
I want to thank my family, all the family that came out for me to celebrate this award with me. I want to thank all my teammates. I want to thank God for giving me the ability to play this game. I want to thank everybody who helped me, who supported me throughout all my years at St. Charles. And I want to say it's been a privilege to play for SEC the last 5 years and be a part of the first ever state championship.
Congratulations to Marcus Hall. And one more time, give it up for all 15 of our prep players of the week. Ed and I have the task of selecting players on a weekly basis and trying to choose a player of the year for both the quarterback club, for our website at sportsnola.com, for WGSO, and of course for ABC 26, which Ed will get to separately here in a moment. It's a very difficult thing to do when you're trying to pick one a week, you're trying to pick one for the year. It's extremely difficult. There's so many that don't get to be recognized, and we fret over it all the time because we'd love to be able to honor more if we could, because there's so many deserving young men that perform admirably each and every weekend on the gridiron. And the same is true of the award for Prep Player of the Year, SportsNola.com and the Greater New Orleans Quarterback Club, sponsored by our good and great friends at the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl. Call your attention to the screen over here as we watch a little footage of our Prep Player of the Year from the Quarterback Club for this year, as we again have a difficult time in picking him out, but you're looking at him right now. He's a 5'11", 195-pound senior running back from McMain High School. He had 284 carries for 2,212 yards and 35 touchdowns, an average of 7.7 yards per carry. He caught 16 passes for 362 yards and 3 touchdowns. He had 22 two-point conversions for good measure, scoring 272 points on his own. And as mentioned earlier, he helped lead his school, the McMain Mustangs, to their first ever state playoff win, and for good measure, they won another game before losing out in the quarterfinals in what was a very special season for him and his school. With that, it's our pleasure to introduce to you our R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl, Greater New Orleans Quarterback Club, and SportsNola.com Prep Player of the Year for 2011, running back Joshua Rounds of McMain High School.
This is great. I just want to say thank you. I didn't expect this, and it's just overwhelming because this year has been so great. It's been a lot of, I don't know, I'm just so overwhelmed. Just thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations to Joshua Rounds and the Maine Mustangs and Kevin Roussel. With that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Ed Daniels of ABC 26 for one more special award. Ed?
Each year during the prep football season, WGNO TV on its Friday night football program presents the Best Player of the Week award. And many of these gentlemen who are here at the dais are certainly part of that process during the year. And at the end of the year, we are very proud to present the general manager of Best Chevrolet, Mr. Jerry Moisan, who will present our Best Player of the Year award. Jerry?
Thank you all very much. Again, it's always an exciting time to come. It's an honor and a privilege to come and see these young men represent our city as both scholar athletes and exceptional athletes. We should be very, very proud the way they handle themselves. You guys listen to them, speak up here and handle this microphone, and you can tell that a lot of hard work and they've done an exceptional job. I haven't met them all, but I feel like I've known them. I've seen them on the show on Channel 26, and certainly read about them in the newspaper. And again, I don't think it's any accident that these young men are being honored today. Each and every time that I come, I look and see that there's so many statistics, and you listen at what they threw for, and how much they, how many yards they ran for, and how many yards they passed for and receiving. And it's amazing, to read these 16 weeks or 15 weeks of athletes that we've had here, and they've all done a fine, fine job. I'd like to give them one more round of applause, guys. That being said, we had to select one, the best player of the week for the year, and what we've done is, again, reading the statistics, Joshua Rounds, running back, McMain, you are the best Chevrolet best player of the year.
Just thank you. I think it's been a great year. I just never expected all this, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
Congratulations to Joshua Rounds one more time. We'd like to acknowledge, we mentioned that we have so many teams that had great seasons this year, and many of those coaches are in the room right now, from state quarterfinal appearances to state semifinal appearances, as we've mentioned, and then we have those that got to the championship games. DeBarge Luke of Endicott, I want to recognize you for a great job well done at Endicott this year. That's perseverance. They started 1-3 and they ended up playing for a championship. That's what happens when you continue to work hard and believe in what you're trying to accomplish. And of course, we have two coaches here that won state championships, and before we close things out, we'd like to do this every year. Just for a minute or two, I'd like to call Frank Monica of the St. Charles Catholic Comets up here to say a word or two, if you don't mind, about winning a state championship, and also Coach J.T. Curtis of John Curtis for winning a state championship. First up, Coach Monica from St. Charles Catholic, as alluded to, first state championship in the history of that outstanding institution. Curtis is smiling. Frank Monica.
Thank you very much, Kenny. I appreciate this. Didn't realize, can't wait to hear what I have to say here. I didn't realize this was part of the agenda item. If I'd have known this, I'd have worn all my teeth for the picture. It's indeed an honor when the guys, congratulations to all the guys, all the honorees here, and all the people that make this thing available. I tell you, this is quite a deal when you have to come up here on a Monday and whatnot and talk to the quarterback club, and some of you guys are regulars out there, and I think this is tremendous that in New Orleans area that you can have this much support and that people are so passionate about the game of football. And to me, I look at football as sort of like the military. I think that every boy should have to go through it, not so much for the winning aspect of it, but because of structure and the discipline. And I commend these guys that received awards. This just emulates what the sport is all about. It's about teaching young men, a structure, putting a discipline in their life. And it's something that, I tell them all that the lifespan is about 80 years old, whatnot, but your high school career is just a small spectrum of that. So don't let that time go by. We have many kids that quit football, and I tell them 5-10 years from now, you would not be able to give me one good reason why you gave up the sport. Not one good reason. And it's different because you have to play with the elements, you have to do things, you have to train your body, you have to train your mind, and more importantly, you have to have balance, because there's academics that are involved with this, and it's one thing that I'm very proud of my football team this year, because we've balanced the academic part of it along with having a fine season, and that's a credit to my players, but more importantly, there's a group that's not here today, and that's my assistant coaches, because I don't do anything. I sit around, I provide the Powerade and whatnot in practice, and they do it all. And I got to thank my principal, because you know, there's old saying that a fish thinks from his head. Well, when you have a great, strong administration and they support athletics and academics, you can have balance. I want to thank the Quarterback Club for having me up here, and Coach Johnson, congratulations to you and whatnot, and because I know that you do a great job there in terms of that, and thank you all for coming. Again, thank you for having me.
Now Coach JT Curtis, a 2A state champion, John Curtis Christian. JT?
Let me thank all of you all for attending and for the support of Prep Athletics. I can't tell you how much joy I get out of being able to participate with Ed on Friday night and watch our young men compete. I want to reiterate again what CJ said, and that is the quality of play in our community and in our state is excellent. And to go out and to be able to see these young men play and to watch them develop, not only as football players, but as men, is a real privilege and a real honor for us. And again, thank you to all those that have sponsored, those of you all that give of your time and your money to help these young men achieve and to be recognized. I can't tell you how important that is to us. So from all of us at John Curtis Christian School, we say congratulations to the parents, to the coaches, to the administrators that all combined together to help us have a day like today. Thank you very much.
I'll call on Ed Daniels one more time for one more award, and then we'll close things out. Ed?
Sometime in January, we're going to make presentations at the school. But I just wanted to mention that our Friday Night Football Coach of the Year is Frank Monica, St. Charles County. And our Friday Night Football Team of the Year is the 3A state champion, St. Charles Catholic Commons. Again, my thanks to everyone here who is not a coach or a player or a parent who supports this organization and supports prep football. It's something we dearly love and we want to continue for a long, long time. Thank you very much.
Congratulations to St. Charles Catholic. Last order of business, of course, we're here each and every week on Mondays during the football season at the Embassy Suites. We mentioned earlier Mike Marquis and Greg Mooney who helped make it possible. But the lady that takes care of business all during the year, checking everybody in, smiling, getting your money too, but also stamping your valet tickets and everything, we want to give her a little special token of our appreciation for what she's done for us all season long. She does it with a smile, and it makes it pleasant. It makes our stay here very, very nice each and every year. I want to call up Mary Catherine Bicknell at this time to get this little token of our appreciation. And with that, we'd like to, again, remind everybody that you are here for a purpose on this earth, serve that purpose to the greatest. We heard so many of you here speak about God and about the God that you serve. And I call him Jesus, and I know that most of you probably do, and those that don't, that's great too, but make sure that you stay true to what you believe. Secondly, make sure that you get your academic situation straight. You get one chance to get it right, and while you're in high school is clearly the preparatory stage of what you're going to be and who you're going to be in life. So make sure that you utilize that time properly. And once you're finished in high school, that brave new horizon awaits you. And as you've seen from some of the people up here today, like Curtis, and Hugh Weber, and Ricky Jackson, and Ed Daniels, and Jim Ravanack, and Jerry Moisant, and countless others in the audience today, you can be very successful if you work very hard and you stay diligent and keeping your eyes on that prize and focused on that goal from the very time you begin that path. Just make sure that you understand that, because you have unique opportunities and possibilities in life, and the world is as big as you want it to be. Nothing is impossible. It's all out there for you, so continue to work hard and make sure that you become the very best you can be, because at the end of the day, if you've done that, then you've served your God, you've served your parents, your coaches, and everyone in the best fashion you possibly can. We want to ask all of our honorees to come over to the screen where our camera is over here. We're going to get everybody in a group picture over here, so parents, anybody else that wanted to get a group picture, we're going to get them gathered in the corner where Bobby O is. right now, so we can get everybody together for a group shot of all our honorees here today. So we'll get you over there. You want to bring your awards, you can do that to get in the picture, and just ask you to pose for a couple of shots over there. Otherwise, you can take photos.